Hi there, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Want to learn how to get back your ex? Check the link in the description box to learn how. My wife may have cheated with my coworker. Hello everybody. I can't believe I'm here, but I don't know what else to do. I love my wife, but I'm really scared that she's doing something behind my back. I can't talk to friends and family because it's too embarrassing and messed up. I think my coworker may have banged my wife and it's looking like it may be true. I am 36, met my wife, F32, at a mall in our city back in 2014. My wife, let's call her Gabby, was in the food court in the line when I saw her. It's a funny thing, I was actually trying to go to another restaurant but the line was too long. Getting in line at the restaurant where she was, I saw her standing at the front. And when she looked at me I couldn't believe how gorgeous she was. When she saw me she laughed and said she wasn't in line for food. Gabby said her cousin worked there, and she was waiting for her to come out. I was happy as hell that she spoke to me because I couldn't figure out what to say to her. Thanks to that I was able to break the ice with being humorous and we talked while she waited for her cousin. I could see I was definitely making a good first impression with her. I asked her while she waited for her cousin did she want me to buy her some food, and she said she wanted a strawberry lemonade instead. After buying it we talked some more and I continued to be flirtatious and funny with her. When her cousin came out I asked for her number and she gave it to me before they left. After that, I did everything I could to sweep her off her feet. After going on some dates, events, and me and my friends hanging with her and her friends, we made it official we were dating. In 2017, me and Gabby had got married. After having 3 kids we had our own family. After having 2 girls and our son being the middle child, we grew into being great parents for our kids. It wasn't easy, but we gave up always going out to clubs and concerts, but we still found time here and there to have fun. Our nightlife was definitely cut in half for sure. I was happy to have Gabby as my wife and I felt very lucky. She had a great character but she was so gorgeous that my friends even gave me props. Gabby is Cuban and looks like a cross between the girl who had played Wonder Woman and Salma Hayek. She is curvaceous, has tattoos on her arms and always has a ponytail. You'd know her for sure by her always wearing a type of ponytail, especially in her selfies. We make good money since I work as a maintenance man. Gabby and her sister are interior decorators and make good money too. Technically, her sister is the interior designer, Gabby just jumped on board when she saw it was getting successful. I love my job and I've worked here for 7 years. But I never thought someone here would get to my wife. The trouble came last Wednesday. There's a guy that works in the shipping area, let's call him Daryl. I'm not really friends with Daryl but he is an acquaintance to me and we talked during lunch. The most time I hung with him was probably when we were shooting dice in the parking lot at the job. We only hang at lunch and talk about the basketball games. One weekend, my car had brake problems and I couldn't drive it to work so my wife drove me there and picked me up after. The first time she accidentally came too early and had to wait about 30 minutes for me to come out. When I came out I saw her laughing and talking to Daryl and a girl that work in the office, let's call her Brianna. After introducing her as my wife, we had small talk for a little while and we left. Looking back, I think that is where it all began. I think Daryl may have gotten to my wife, and it started that week when she had to come and pick me from work. When I got off work I would see my wife hanging with Daryl and Brianna. They would be in the office hanging out listening to rap music on Daryl's Beats by Dre that's connected to his phone. Gabby said she liked talking to Brianna and would hang out in the office with her and Daryl. I knew Brianna and Daryl lived close to each other so they were good friends, and that's why it didn't really bother me to see him around them as well. Since that week, Gabby would come to my job to talk and hang with Daryl and Brianna. Since Brianna was supposed to be Gabby's friend, I didn't mind her visiting sometimes or talking on the phone. But Daryl being around talking to Gabby was something I overlooked. My wife gets a lot of attention especially on Instagram, so I always tried to keep myself in check even when I saw Gabby and Daryl talking without Brianna around. Jumping into conclusions would just piss Gabby off and we'd be arguing in Spanish every day. Last Wednesday was when my fears came up about my wife possibly cheating on me. One day when leaving my job, I was telling a friend at work goodbye. He was on the phone at the time and he said goodbye as well. I stopped when he told the person on the other line that it was me telling him goodbye and I was curious because he said my name like this person knew me. I asked him who he was talking and he just smiled and said it was an old coworker of ours. Telling me to wait, he said this person wanted to talk to me really quick. Giving me the phone, I was actually happy to hear from this guy. Talking to my old coworker, let's call him Tyrell, we caught up since I didn't know why he left. He said his brother worked in a warehouse in Atlanta and Tyrell said he moved down there since his brother promised him a job with him. Then he had decided to rub it in by saying he now make more than us in a playful way. After catching up, he said he wanted to ask me for my phone number because he wanted to talk to me about something. I said sure, and he told me to DM him my number on Facebook. I said okay and gave my friend his phone back. After sending him the number, he called immediately. I didn't even make it to my car yet. Picking up, I asked him what was up. He asked me was I in my car, I said yeah. He said not to drive yet because he really had to tell me something. This really sounded strange as hell, so I asked him what he was talking about. He said I can't tell nobody he told me this, and I agreed. He asked me was Gabby still coming up to my job, and it surprised me. I said yeah, and he asked me was Daryl still talking to Gabby, and I said yeah, and he was making me nervous asking about them. He told me didn't want to start anything, but he think Daryl banged my wife. He said since he don't work with us anymore, he didn't care, so he wanted me to know this. Hearing this sent a big ass chill down my spine. I asked him how he knows this, and he said he had saw them. When he worked with us, Tyrell was a floor leader, so he moved between the departments. He said while walking he always saw Gabby and Daryl talking to each other. And he told our coworkers he really wanted to bang Gabby. And he said he would always make comments about her butt. I asked Tyrell when he would see them together, and he said it was almost an hour before lunch. He said he would see her talk to Brianna sometimes, but he saw her talking to Daryl more. Tyrell said even though it looked like he was flirting with Gabby, didn't know if something might be happening until she visited him on Saturdays when Daryl's department had to work overtime. This was a surprise to me because I almost never worked overtime. It didn't make sense why she would be there. I asked Tyrell was he sure she was there on Saturdays, and he said he was definitely sure. He said he was pretty sure Daryl might be banging her when she had visited one Saturday. Since there's not a lot to do on Saturday, they had a lot free time, and Daryl would have his Beats by Dre music speaker playing. Even though Gabby was there hanging out, this was normal to Tyrell. But after a while he came back and said he heard loud Spanish music playing. Looking in, Tyrell said things was getting sexual with Gabby and the guys. He said Daryl had Gabby by her neck while she twerked for him. My wife wasn't exactly bootylicious, but she had enough that she could twerk if she wanted. I froze when Tyrell told me this. I asked was he sure, and he said he was absolutely sure and that he's not blind. He said everybody watched as she bounced it for him, and he even lifted her shirt to show her butt in her leggings. I asked him did she try to stop Daryl, and he said no. He said all she did was laugh and twerk for him while he had her by her neck. He said she looked like she was trying to win a contest. I couldn't believe what I was hearing from Tyrell. He said he was sorry and I need to keep my wife from him. He said that includes Brianna as well. I said, thanks for telling me all this, and hung up not long after. I felt very humiliated by this. Driving back home, my head was racing like crazy. What was worse, Gabby twerking for Daryl had to have been 7 or 8 months ago. Who knows what's been going on ever since then. They probably took it to his place and she did more than twerk there. I had to ask Gabby what was going on, and see if she'd be honest with me. Getting back home, my wife was on the phone with her mom. After small talk, I asked her did she meet with Brianna today, and she said yeah. I asked her did she see Daryl as well, and she said no. I told her I was actually surprised because they seemed like the Three Musketeers. She told me Daryl really don't be around that much, and it just be her and Brianna, which even I know is total bull. After that, my wife just walked past me and into kitchen for her phone and started texting probably her friends. I couldn't believe my wife flat out lied to me about her relationship with Daryl. Even I noticed how much he was around her, and I was hurt by what was looking obvious right now. After that, all I could do is watch her make dinner for our kids and feel sad what's going on right now. I'm really depressed and my head got me in a combination of rage and tearing up. Right now I need proof that something's going on. But it's going to be really hard since it involves people that work with me. I don't want to lose my job, and I can't use what Tyrell said because it was just twerking, and that's not good enough for divorce. Besides, they'll both just lie and say it didn't happen. Plus my wife can say she was bringing Daryl lunch or something and the old lady that's the security guard would let her in. I have to assume my wife cheated on me. My wife had secretly met up with Daryl and twerked for him, and that was 8 months ago. So much time had passed and there's no telling what happened since then. I need to know how to get actual proof so I can use it in divorce if everything is true. I need to be careful because I don't want to lose my job and I know her family will attack me if I don't get evidence. We'll update if I figure out what to do. Here are some of the best comments from our community. Do not ask any more questions about Daryl as not to raise suspicions. Go through her phone while she is sleeping and take photos of anything you find. Also check her GPS history over the last 8 to 9 months and take note of all the Saturdays she went to your work as well as any other frequent address that has popped up in the last 9 months or so. Also, if you know anyone in Daryl's department that would have seen the twerking incident, talk to them and play it of like you already know, like, so my wife told me she came here one Saturday and you guys had a little dance party. Did you guys have fun? She said she was twerking with Daryl, but I don't believe her as she played a much. And see what they say. Check her phone when she goes to sleep. She must have even saved his name as a girl's name. So check even the girl's message. Check the messages to the other woman too. Sorry man. No need to find evidence. Give her divorce papers and tell her you will withdraw if she comes clean about everything. All the lies need to be revealed. Just tell her that you know she has been seeing Daryl from a third party that saw them together. Do not reveal that you do not know everything, just tell her you know, and her being honest with all the details is the only for you to believe she can win your trust back. When you asked her to marry you, did you both have an idea of building an empire together? Asking more questions or having her admit on her own terms isn't going to make a difference. She will know you know, she's your wife. The anger is normal, it's not your fault, but the smartest people I know, say the least and let everyone else show their hand. Do not confront her. Look through her phone to see if you can find any evidence. If there is a thread between your wife and Daryl, see if it seems like texts have been deleted. If so, download text recovery software, like Dr. Phone, to a PC and connect her phone to it to see what you can recover. If all that fails, you can always text him from your wife's phone, "What is your sexiest memory of me?" and see what comes back. Good luck, and don't even mention his name around her anymore. If she feels you are into her, she will delete everything. You still have the element of surprise. Also look through her deleted pictures. Dude, so sorry. If you can hire someone to spy on her and Daryl and take pictures, that would be very helpful. If you can look through her phone, you will likely find either firm evidence or that everything gets deleted. If you do have access to her phone, you can install spyware. Some think that this is an invasion of privacy. No. She is lying and worse, and you need to look out for you and your kids first. Good luck. Don't let your wife know you might be on to them, they will just take it underground. Start tracking her movements, GPS or through her phone. Get her passwords and place spyware on her phone if you can. Check her social media accounts and texting. If you have access to her phone bill, see who she is calling and texting. Place a VAR in her car or where she may converse without the most. Place hidden cameras in your home. Mini cameras are not that expensive and can activate when they detect movement. If you can afford it, hire a PI. They are expensive, but very effective. If you want to find out if she is cheating, this should produce results. Right now you don't have much to go on and she could be just twerking and not much else. Contact a divorce attorney and get them to recommend a good PI. It will be worth the money to find out the truth, good or bad. Knowing the truth is better than speculation, and whatever you do, don't let her know you suspect anything. ! Thank you for taking your time watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bear in mind to subscribe as well as strike the alert bell.